Okay, so doing this for a second time because the first time we did this, no voices were recorded.
Or at least my voice wasn't recorded.
Oh,
But
oh
hey, we're
my
back,
god!
and we're even more excited because now it won't be as much rambling.
Right? And as the title says, we're gonna be talking about Chaos Theory mode. We're finna go over the possible scenarios from Jurassic Park: The Fallen Kingdom. None of this is factual. It may happen, may not happen. Who knows? We may get close, may not get close at all. But it's just gonna be fun to speculate.
However, they are based on some they're grounded a little bit.
Right.
It's nothing. Like we're definitely we're not gonna say we'll be driving around San Diego. No.
Right.
No.
Like I'm
No.
not expecting Frontier to just make a whole ass map to chase a T-Rex around. No, I'm not expecting that.
So these speculations will be based on mostly just kind of mechanics that we already know from the games, as well as just a little bit of story and spin that we want to put on it.
And
So
the first one, runner-up, is Jurassic Park. Well, it can't be a runner-up. It's the first one.
it's the first, the one, the only Jurassic Park.
And when we went through this one the first time, we was basically going over the fact that we were looking for factual points that these what-ifs for the Chaos Theory mode could take place in, and that some of them, if not all of them, would have 3 acts. Now, Frontier doesn't have to do them that way, but that's just what makes sense to us on paper. It's more organized and everything that way.
Yeah, it'll flow more like a movie, pretty much, like a big story. Because that's what we're hoping, is that each of these scenarios will kind of tell their own little mini stories.
And the first part for it that we talked about or went over was the whole Dennis Nedry. And all it was like, if I remember correctly, the first act was you got Dennis Nedry going to meet whoever the other conspirator, whoever he was supposed to deliver the embryos to. That doesn't happen. He still gets killed by the Dilo, but Dodson thought a step ahead and had people that was ready to go into the park or to wherever Nedry was and, get the Barbasol can.
Yeah, to track it down.
And
so
they get the Barbasol can, but then it's up to the player from that point to try to intercept that person and, stop the sabotage.
Yeah, or to stop the transaction from going through, because stopping that will pretty much stop, Dotson and Biosyn from making their own dinosaurs and, causing a whole bunch of other, crazy things to happen. As well as saving the park as well.
And then there was, I'm trying to remember how we segued it into the second part.
Yeah, so pretty much at that point, we were thinking that you would have to wrangle up the dinosaurs.
Right, because he shut down, Nedry did shut down the fences, so that would still lead to the T-Rex breakout and everything. It's just that after you successfully stop the cohort from smuggling away the embryos, you hear that from maybe Muldoon, maybe it could be Ray Arnold, somebody notifies you that the T-Rex has gotten loose, and not just the T-Rex, other dinosaurs have gotten loose too, and
now it's up to you to stop them and to get the park back online.
Correct.
Before things go too far. But just like in the film, you then eventually find out that they had to shut down the whole system. Actually, no, I remember. Yeah, we said that the dinosaurs, all the dinosaurs except the raptors, would be out. But then once everything's put back, or Ray says in order to get everything back online, we had to shut down the power. We had to shut down the rest of the power. Or to restart the system. So when they restart the system, just like the movie, the raptors then break out, and that this will be the climax, the crescendo of the whole scenario, is that you have to track down the raptors, and trank them, or maybe it could be like RTJP, where you had to make the dinosaurs fight. Who knows?
In that scenario, it's kind of straightforward. It's not as straightforward as like maybe Jurassic World, because it leaves room for creativity and different fluctuations to happen within this first Chaos Theory mode. And I think it'd be a nice way to actually get introduced to what you would have to do, at least the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it would make use of that one thing where they have you searching for the Allosaurus, but you could do that for the T-Rex as you're searching for within Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and maybe even the Raptors as well.
Yeah.
After they escaped. Now I'm a little iffy on how they could execute the whole like stopping the agents of Dotson.
Yeah, that's the hard one.
A little iffy how they could do that.
Unless that one is intercepted by a dinosaur or something like that. Maybe that's how you find out the T-Rex got loose or something, because while you're trying to chase him down, the T-Rex just bursts out from the trees and just coincidentally takes him out.
Yeah, that could work.
I didn't think about that the first time through.
I mean, that's pretty much all we really had for the first movie. It's just the and that if it's not the people, and if it's not agents that go in, then I guess it would just be that the dinosaurs escape.
Right.
And it's pretty much just a part of the movie, but except that people don't die.
Yeah, you're literally saving Jurassic Park. It's like you said, it's like Return to the Jurassic Park, but what?
Except this time you don't have to like repair things.
Right.
You just have to get the power going again. And now when we discussed Lost World, it was a little more. I mean, it was a little more straightforward. But it was also a little more. Still was a little more difficult to figure out, just because.
Yeah. Like initially, we was kind of all over the place when we first started talking about it, and then you was like, well, there's Jurassic Park San Diego, because that was the whole drive of the film in the first place. That's what kicked everything off, was that Ludlow wanted Jurassic Park San Diego to be a thing, and then what did Frontier do?
They put it in.
Yeah, they put in Jurassic Park San Diego. So there you go.
Because before the gameplay trailer, there was we were in the dark completely about what Lost Roads could be. Like, there was really no semblance of an idea what it could be.
Right. Because,
we didn't know if it would be on Sorna or if it would be in San Diego. We had no idea. So, I am glad that they did, I guess, tease us a little bit. They teased us and then they showed us a whole lot. And, it kind of... And also just seeing the San Diego Coliseum, it really did... It made me realize I think they're putting a lot of effort into this mode.
Yeah.
More than I thought.
Yeah, because I actually don't see no other way to get the JP San Diego Coliseum or Stadium I don't see any other way to get it but doing that specific Chaos Theory mode. It'd be kind of weird to not have that tied to it. Yeah.
Unless they just were going to be cheeky and say, like some dinosaurs are old, amphitheater, like in the campaign. And unless, we could be totally wrong and it could show up in the campaign as well.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know. Yeah, that'll throw everyone for a loop. But
and that one will be what? Just it will be making Jurassic Park San Diego a success, like, because the whole thing was Hammond didn't want it to be a success, so maybe you're on Ludlow's team this time and you're trying to stop Hammond's saboteurs. It could be a Nick Van Noen cameo. It could just be some random, people.
Yeah, or
whatever.
they could reference, like, I was thinking that the first mission would be either, your on-site, be your capturing the dinos, and then, after that, it's welcome to San Diego, and maybe they'll explain that they caught some potential saboteurs that they're investigating to see if they were involved in Hammond, were involved with Hammond, like something like that, like letting the player know that yes, like Van Owen's mission has failed, he has been caught, and that for the most part, what happened in the movie didn't really happen, and that everything went well, and both parties made it off the island, with little to no incident. Being like a what if, what if Nick Van Owen didn't sabotage the camp?
Right.
Because then by sabotaging the camp, he would get the baby T-Rex, which then, we all seen the movie, so we know it happened, but...
Right.
And so, and the other idea I had, instead of them doing that, was that most of the movies already happened, but now it's only the Rex that you're bringing to San Diego. And that maybe you'll have to capture it on a little map.
Right.
It won't be in the city, but it'll be on its way to the city. But you have to intercept it, like in like a little park area or something, like a little
it breaks out or something during transportation, and you have to catch it before it can get into San Diego.
Yeah, and then pretty much just put it into the park, and then pretty much just start building JP San Diego, make Jurassic Park a success. Maybe had to deal with saboteurs, maybe. Maybe it'll just be like, oh, all your gates are open or something.
Mm-hmm. Like they probably mess with you because we got the tiger stripe skin raptor, so they will probably be involved in some way.
Actually, that's a good idea. Maybe like Van Owen can open all the gates in your park and the hunters camp on Site B.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have to get them back or prevent them from causing too much damage.
Right, like Act 1 could be catching the dinosaurs, something plain and simple, something we're used to. It's a clear sanctuary type of deal.
But on the game trail.
Right. The second
which
part,
I think it would look incredible, especially with the game's overall design. That'll look incredible. Just the game trail.
Especially if they let you ride on between them immensely. Now they ain't gonna let you do that, but
hey, one can dream.
Right. But okay, that would be the first act. The second act could be like you was just saying, dealing with Van Owen's sabotage when he lets all the animals out. You somehow wrangle them back up, and you bounce back from that attempt. And then the third and final attempt is just making sure Jurassic Park San Diego is a success.
Yep. You make your money, you save the company. Hammond's crazy. Just just make it work pretty much.
Right.
Prove Ian wrong. Do all that stuff. And I'm pretty sure Jeff came back to voice Ian a little bit for it.
Yeah.
I'd be very shocked if he didn't record anything for the Lost World.
Yeah, that would. I didn't put any thought towards that either because I was just solely focusing on the scenario, but that would be weird for him to not say anything.
Yeah, it would, and it's I'm hoping that because he's listed as a prominent voice actor. So now it would be cool if maybe they had Sam Neill as well, Laura Dern, who knows, for Jurassic Park, and possibly 3 for Alan. But who knows? But for the most part, we're I think our ideas for Lost World are pretty solid.
Yeah, and it's
because they cover major plot points.
It's easier to do this because the second game seems to be more connected to the films than the first game, and by being more connected, it seems that it also treats the first game as non-canon to itself.
Yeah, Evolution 1 is supposed to be a sequel to Jurassic World. Evolution 2 is a sequel to Fallen Kingdom. Right.
But at the same time, it ignores Evolution 1.
Yeah. So really, it's a sequel in spirit more than a sequel in truth. If that makes sense.
A spiritual successor. It's weird. Your sequel is more of a spiritual successor.
Yeah, than like a full on, than a full on like traditional sequel. But I like the idea. I don't mind it. You know,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it allows the writing to stretch its legs a little more. But anyway, I guess back on track.
Back on track. And speaking of stretching your legs, that's when we get to Jurassic Park 3, which is actually has the most room for creativity out of all of the Chaos Theory modes.
Yeah. You want to say your idea first, or you want me to say mine?
Now if I'm okay. So what we came up with for the first time around was that, like with all the films, it has to have something, you know, an event that they can go off of, and that event for Jurassic Park 3 was rescuing Eric. We're going there to rescue Eric, and
yeah,
the plot point that came up with
and
this
Ben
one
Hildebrand.
was, him.
Everyone keeps forgetting, even though he has the best line in the movie.
Right?
Everyone forgets him.
Oh man, is Ben Hildebrand a memorable character yet?
No, not yet.
Oh my god. But what Deck came up with was that instead of the Kirbys going to Alan Grant and, you know, trying to rope him and Billy into it, which they still can be put into this Chaos Theory mode. They really can be, but it's just that Masrani,
the government this time.
Yeah, Masrani catches wind of this from hearing them, you know, talk about the son being stuck on the island with the dinosaurs on it, and of course the government reaches out to whoever
the
owns
U.S. Embassy.
Yeah, the U.S. Embassy.
That's our embassy. Can you believe that?
So they did reach out. Yeah, I always thought they reached out to the Costa Rican one first, so they reached out to the U.S. Embassy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The U.S. Embassy, that's our U.S. Embassy, told us we should accept the inevitable. Can you believe that?
So that's what they do, right? And through that's how Masrani hears about it, because it's, you know, that he acquired the rights in 1999. It's 2001 at this point. So he hears about it, and Wu tags along because, you know, he's Wu. He has a secret ulterior motive. Masrani's going there to make sure they get Eric, so nothing stops Jurassic World from opening, because if something happens to Eric, then that means he can't. Yeah, that's bad press. He can't open his part.
People be like, oh no, the dinosaurs. They say the dinosaurs are dangerous. They're killing people.
Right.
He can't open the park.
And Wu
so he's
is
not
going
gonna let that
there
happen
because he wants to check on his projects. This is a good chance for him to check on the projects that he left there.
Which would be the Spinosaurus, maybe the JP3 raptors, possibly Ceratosaurus as well, and maybe Ankylosaurus. I don't know, like just the illegally bred species.
Yeah. And it's like through that is how you get your first encounter with the Spinosaurus, is because when you get there, you set up your perimeter, like the initial things you're gonna need to get this, you know, get this up and running, your base camp basically. And while you're searching for Eric, it'll be you and a few other Jeeps, and you're following these other Jeeps because when you get to a certain point, just like how they did with the Allosaurus, where they showed that little cutscene, there will be the cutscene of the Spinosaurus coming out the brush and completely just wrecking those other two Jeeps. It doesn't have to all be two Jeeps. It could be one, but it just sounds cooler for it to just trash two.
Or possibly even three.
So it trashes them. So now that Jeep turns around. Next thing you know, you're in the helicopter trying to fend off the Spinosaurus before it can, you know, kill the rest of the search party.
Yeah, before it can go to the base camp and just destroy the whole place.
Right.
Like Godzilla.
And then when you fend off the Spinosaurus, now you got to work on defenses and stuff like that. You want to bolster up the base camp's defenses, you know, just in case. And you were right to do that just in case, because every so periodically the Spinosaurus comes back.
Yeah, just like with Best in Slot said in his production video, the Spinosaurus will maybe will just randomly spawn in on the map, come towards the base camp, and then you just kind of have to fend it off. He'll try to destroy one of your fences, and I'm thinking maybe if you shoot it with enough darts, it'll eventually just give up and run away.
Right, and that leads into the next point that what you were saying is that you figure out that okay, the darts aren't doing anything. They drive it off, but it always comes back. So that's when they're like, okay, well, we need you to come up with something that could put this thing down for the count, sedate it or something. And that's when you said they go off to maybe the aviary or something like that.
Yeah, they go out to the aviary, maybe to capture some pteranodons to kind of study them as well. Because if you remember, the pteranodons had teeth. But apparently pteranodons don't have teeth, so maybe we would want to study them as well to see like why they are so aggressive. And maybe Wu will hint that the Spinosaurus is just a prototype and that he wants to improve on it, which would then of course be the Dominus, or I guess E750. I don't know. But I was thinking that Masrani's reason was going to kind of catalog the dinosaurs on the island, just so that they can know what to put into the park at a JW. Because at this point, like, the park is only in its like initial planning phases.
Right. And like that a whole trip to the aviary leads to how the pteranodons eventually get out because somebody left the gate open.
Yeah, pretty much. Or maybe like they let them out and then, or they try to get in, but they inadvertently let them out.
And you can have some run-ins with like Ceratosaurus and the JP3 Raptors because you're trying to figure out a way to incorporate them into it so you can unlock the dinosaur, unlock the skins,
Yeah. I was thinking maybe Ceratosaurus could just be like a dinosaur that you have to fend off the base from.
Yeah. And then like the last part of it is Wu is ready to try, to make something to synthesize against the Spinosaurus, but he realizes he does need some material from the Spinosaurus. So you set out to find it to try to get some material, but that's when the whole Rex versus Spino thing comes into play, and during the battle in which the Spinosaurus fights and kills it, you can, it got damaged to a point though where you can get some material from it.
I was thinking that you would have to search for dinosaurs to get material to kind of make a T-Rex that's powerful enough to take down the Spinosaurus.
Like a Roid Rex.
Yeah, like so you would put all this different stuff like Pteranodon, Ceratosaurus, Velociraptor, all this stuff into it to make it powerful enough to stand up against the T-Rex or the Spinosaurus.
Yeah.
Then again, they also still have to find Eric some way or somehow. Maybe that'll be done off screen. I don't know. Like as they're leaving, they're like, oh yeah, like we found the kid. Like, didn't find the other guy, but we found the kid.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, somewhere in between there, you find Eric, and that's probably when the problems with the Spinosaurus can start to ramp up even more.
Or either that, I was thinking that they would find him early on and then take him off the island, but then they'll say like, oh, well, why are we still here? They're like, oh, because, and we would be like, oh, did you think we only came just to save some tourists? Like, no, we came to do research. Like, maybe that's when he'll reveal his ulterior motives.
Right.
In classic Wu style. So, I mean, that was our idea for JP3. Yeah, it was fun to come up with.
Yeah, like I said, it leaves the most room for creativity because out of all the films, at least regarding Chaos Theory mode, Jurassic Park 3 is the least strict because it's so open when you think about it. Like all the other Chaos Theory modes for Jurassic Park, Lost World, even Jurassic World, they have this strict tangent that they gotta follow. They can't really deviate that much.
Yeah, but with JP3, you know, because the plot for the movie is, you know, so like simple. Like you can really, like you can just take like the simple idea of them still needing to go rescue Eric and Ben and take it in a different direction. So it still is a what if.
Right. While still, you know, drawn from a factual or actual event within the movie.
Yeah, still, you know, still deviating at a plot point. So it still is like a what if story. Because other people were thinking that it would deal with like, you know, people were thinking that it would be like in between Jurassic World and Jurassic Park 3. I was like, no, it has to be like really almost about that movie.
Yeah.
Or like the whole like plot has to like somewhat revolve around it.
And then as a final, just like a final scenario, you have to rope in the pteranodons because they got out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so after the Rex, dries off the Spinosaurus, they have to. You then find out that the pteranodons have escaped. And now you have to. Now you get to go as Vic Hoskins and take them out before they can leave the island.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, just like you said, the Jurassic Park 3 was a real fun one to come up with.
Yeah, because you know, you just there's a lot you can do. You know, Spinosaurus, there's a lot you can do. The aviary, all that stuff. You know, the raptors, like there's all, you know, there's just a whole lot to mess with. Like you're saying, it's not like the other ones where you don't have to follow like a strict tangent.
Yeah. And it allows them to use the old aviary model if they so wish, but it gives them room because I did see there were two different styles of aviaries. There was the one with the glass dome, and then there was one with like metal bars. I did see and notice that.
So there was the JW and the Site B version.
Mm-hmm. And then speaking of JW, next is Jurassic World, and that one is the easiest one to do.
Yeah, probably the most like simple one to come up with.
The most simple, the most straightforward, and that's simply just corralling the Indominus Rex, because once it escaped, it broke into the aviary, which caused a whole problem on Main Street, which in turn led or added more fuel to the fire of the park shutting down. So basically, if you can stop the Indominus Rex before it gets to the aviary,
and you pretty much won.
Yeah, you saved Jurassic World at that point.
And then we were thinking after that, after you sedate it, after you subdue it, you then had to introduce it into the park.
Yeah, introduce it into the park. You it has that Return to Jurassic Park feel. You introduce newer species like the Megalosaurus and all that.
Or maybe some more marine reptiles as well.
Yeah, and you just increase Jurassic World's fame. You just help it become more of a success than it already was at that point.
Now, I also will. I'm going to expand our original idea, because I just came up with this, that maybe since Hoskins' plan didn't work with the Indominus, because if you remember, like in the movie, like he was kind of happy about like the Indominus escaping and causing all this trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, you know, like it validated like his initiative, his push for like raptors in combat. So I was thinking that maybe it would end with something happening, like something big happening in the park, and then you have to like you spend all this time building the park, but Hoskins isn't satisfied, so he'll do something, and then you have to maybe pull out Blue and the crew to like, you know, maybe stop it. You know, maybe it'll be, I don't know, maybe he'll release the Indominus again, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just thinking that like he actually releases the Indominus again, just to prove his point.
You know, so you have to pull out the raptors and then pretty much just save the park again. And then all is good.
That would could, and when you think about it, they could make that kind of tough, because now that the Indominus is out, they're probably be like, okay, you have a set amount of guest casualties that are allowed to happen before you just fail the mission.
Oh yeah, that's true. So I mean, so yeah, I mean, I think Jurassic Worlds would be very straightforward.
Straightforward,
Very,
but with that added scenario and that, like, right there with Hoskins willing to, just throw it all away for the sake of his ideals and stuff like that, actually makes it more interesting now.
All right. I mean, I hope that's the idea they run with, or something like that.
Right? Because we already know what the initial thing is going to be for it. So
let's hope they don't fall on expectations.
Speaking of falling on expectations.
Yeah, speaking of Fallen Kingdom.
That one?
Now, yeah, this one's tough.
Because
this
that
one definitely
one took place in a mansion, and
like, this one definitely took a lot of brain power.
And initially my problem was with it that I couldn't find something to that would work with.
Yeah, like a good story, to branch off of. But I think what we came up with, or I kind of built off what you said, which was like, you had like the Indoraptor, all the dinosaurs break out, you have to get them. So I was thinking, yeah, like, I mean, that is a pivotal like moment in Fallen Kingdom. Like that sets up Dominion. So I was like, maybe that will be the Chaos Theory mode. Maybe you have to go into the forest. Maybe Lockwood Manor will be in the background, kind of like how the San Diego City is. And you have to go. You have to just rob. You have to wrangle the dinosaurs. And then after that, you have to bring the Sanctuary. So it'll probably be like Claire's Sanctuary, but with a little bit of a twist in between. In that, maybe Claire is like, she'll tell the player, "Oh yeah, they betrayed us. Eli Mills betrayed me, but like we contacted the authorities, and like they're on their way to help us like clean up this mess."
Yeah, and you end up getting the dinosaurs to where they were supposed to go in the first place.
Yep, and that's I guess that's how it would end, really. And also no fences, no boundaries, no restraining technology, just nothing, none of that. No park building. Just put them down, let them do their thing, look at them, and just let them live the rest of their lives in somewhat peace.
Right.
And just let Rexy die in peace.
Let her go in her old age.
Don't have her get possibly killed by a Giga, but if that even happens, we'll have to wait and see, like a year from now. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's about it for Fallen Kingdom. Actually, no, I forgot. You mentioned that there might be a mission on Isla Nublar.
Oh yeah. Like, keeping with the whole first act, second act, third act thing, is that just like in the first Claire's Sanctuary, in Jurassic World Evolution 1, you're given the task of getting the dinosaurs off the island, but it actually comes with a time limit. You're actually trying to get what you can. We're trying to save what you can in a time limit of what? Maybe 10, 15 minutes? Maybe 15 minutes is too much, but 10 minutes, yeah. And then you get them off, you get them loaded or put wherever they need to be. That way, when the 10 minutes are up, there's a cutscene showing you shipping them off. A volcano actually explodes this time. You're seeing lava decimate the forest. You're seeing the island go up in smoke. And if they want, they can try to bring in the fuse with that one Bracky again.
Oh God, burnt remains.
Yes, burnt remains. I'm surprised you remember that. And that's how it leads into the whole Lockwood segment with the Indoraptor escaping,
Yeah, and maybe having like the manor in the background, because we can't go in the mansion, but we can have it take place after
right.
Like they escape, because technically the movie was still going on at that point, I guess. So I guess it still does fit within like the what if. like, what if someone just didn't let them run into the jungle or into the forest and actually, like, pick them up and put them somewhere. So yeah, I mean, I like our predictions. I like our ideas. They're viable. They make sense.
Right. I like to think they're reasonable.
Oh yeah, they're reasonable.
Like, we're not asking for it to go beyond what the game or the developers have already showed. We try to stick within its limits. I mean, they did say that they got a lot of stuff to show us next week, so who knows? It might.
Oh yeah, they did say that.
Yeah, and it could support what we're saying. Interesting.
Well, I mean, I guess until then, I mean, I don't know. I guess we could just kind of hope and wait until we hear something, see something, or they tell us. Hopefully they don't miscommunicate again. Hopefully that'll be nice.
Right, a little more transparency between them and the player base will be greatly appreciated.
But it's a topic for another time, I'm afraid. 'Cause I think we went on for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, half hour. Yeah.
All right. I mean, I think we did it a lot more efficiently this time, because last time it was like an hour. It was like an hour and 34 minutes. So this was definitely a lot more efficient.
Yeah, we went about an hour and a half the first time we went through this one, but now that our thoughts are more collected and gathered, we did this one in about 40 or so minutes. Yeah.
So thanks for inviting me along, Ghidorah.
Oh, it's no problem, Deck. I'm actually glad that you was here to help, speculate this with. It's easier when you have collective minds to do this type of thing with, rather than me trying to figure this out by myself and just rambling on.
Yeah, I can say the same, because I I had no idea for Fallen Kingdom, so I am glad that you told me about, like, well, maybe they had to go ring out the dinosaurs. I never would have thought about that. So yeah, I guess we balance each other out pretty much.
Let us know in the comments what y'all think. Tell us y'all ideas. Speculate with us.
Do you think our ideas are crazy? Do you think we're stupid? Do you think they're the good ideas? We want to know.
Like, yeah, we just want to know. Like, do you think we're on to something here, or are we way off?
Or maybe if you guys want to kind of fill in the gaps a little bit more, because we just kind of gave rough plot points. Like, it wasn't like anything in depth. So if you guys want to fill it in, like, sure, you go ahead. We'd love to hear it.
In the comments down below. No, let me stop.
Yeah.
Let me stop. I couldn't resist. Oh my god.
Boy. Oh yeah, and remember, take it easy.
Nice. Alright, y'all. This has been SKG and Dektoonics Inc. Make sure to check out his channel. Check out Helix Wars when y'all stop by. Like, y'all thank me later.
Yeah, and also cooking up a video that's gonna feature SKG. So be on the lookout for that too.
And we'll be catching you all later. Peace, everybody.
Alright, see you guys.